Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 2022 Mercury Retrograde reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Libra be affected by the January 2022 Mercury Retrograde? Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Oh, goodness. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have Judgment and we have the Moon. I love that combination. Strong Pisces energy here. So if you have Pisces within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. But the Moon will have an effect on us during this time. So the new moon, the full moon, and just wherever the moon comes up astrologically as we're talking about this Mercury retrograde. Then we have the Ace of Swords, which is a gift for us. We are air sign energies, right? We're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. We're represented by justice, there we go, in the major arcana. I almost said judgment. Then we have the star coming in, which is Aquarius energy, also air sign energy. And we have the 9 of coins. If we have Aquarius energy in our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully in our inner self. Then we have the King of Cups and the Knight of Wands. The King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, amplifying the Pisces energy here at our root, and also coming through very strongly from our natal chart if we have that at our heart. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, coming through very powerfully at our heart as well if we have that within our natal chart. Then we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands here in the public arena. So we're definitely taking aim. I love this depiction, of the 8 of Wands. The 7 of Wands here is a lot more subtle, but the 7 of Wands is usually like, I have to defend myself, I have to have the courage, but it's also like, Spirit always says when I see the 7 of Wands, it's like, don't fight so hard. Like, why are you wasting all your energy? So just be mindful of this. The 6 of Pentacles, we need things in balance, but things aren't always going to be in balance. We're not going to be able to have things balanced the way that we want them to. And that's going to be upsetting for us. This is my minor arcana justice card, right? The 6 of of Pentacles. So we're going to try and move forward in a certain way. We're going to say, oh, I need this, or I need that, or it should be this, or it should be that. And it's important for us to have things balanced, Libra, because we're all about balance. And sometimes we have to come to the conclusion that it's not, and I laugh because it's going to be an easy realization and a hard realization at the same exact time, which doesn't seem to answer any questions. But it's going to be like, I just have to let that be. Like if it's chaos, I have to let it be chaos. If it's beauty, I have to let it be beauty. And I can't change that. And that's going to be very important for us. It is going to be very important, as trivial or as trite as it might sound. It's going to be very important for us. Let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the Queen of Cups. This is letting our emotions get the best of us. This is also being very attracted to people who are emotionally rather overwhelming, rather intense, and really looking at that and saying, you know what? No, I'm not being dragged down that road. So just be aware of it. Then we have our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, goodness. Grounding. This is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. This is how we're feeding ourselves, how we're surrounding ourselves, what energy we're nurturing ourselves with, how are we taking care of ourselves. Grounding is very important. How are we planting our roots and how are we caring for us? That's going to be a really big thing. The Six of Pentacles, not the Six of Pentacles. That's what we were just talking about. The grounding here is, let me sink my roots into my soil, and how is that soil feeding me? How am I nurturing and caring for who I am? What is the food that I'm putting into my body, the drink that I'm putting into my body, the energy that I'm putting into my body? Am I taking care of myself enough, or am I burning the candle at both ends, or am I, trying to avoid something, or, trying to hide from something? That's going to be important, because when Mercury retrogrades, especially if we have strong air sign energy in us, and as Libras, we definitely do, but Mercury rules communication. Here, I have Mercury, the card for Mercury, and it says here, think and learn and network and, communicate. And it's everything that we're good at, right? It's everything that we are. We're all about the words. We're all about connection. So air sign energies have a very hard time with Mercury retrograde. And amplify this if we happen to be a Gemini. If we happen to have, a Gemini somewhere within our natal chart or in our lives, we can find that Mercury retrograde is astoundingly hard for them, because Geminis are ruled by Mercury. So even if we have Virgo within our natal chart, or Virgos around us, Virgos are ruled by Mercury. So this can amplify it for us to the next level. So just be mindful of this during this time. So let's start off by talking about things astrologically. From the 29th of December to the 14th of January, we have the pre-shadow period for Mercury retrograde, which we might think, okay, what's the big deal about this? It sets the tone. It sets the tone for a Mercury retrograde. And what we're going to be seeing during this pre-shadow period is, okay, what's the energy that I need to be in control of? What is it that I'm trying to order, like, into an inch of its life, so then I can have the freedom, I can have the life that I want, or the blessings that I want to come forward. And this is going to be something that's very frustrating for us, because it's almost like if everything can just be perfect enough, I can get to where it is that I want to be. And we can react to this in one or two ways. We can react to it to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to order it, I'm going to organize it, and I'm going to make it move forward, right? Or we're going to do that and then walk away from it, and then kind of like self-sabotage, because that's not the way our hearts want to be moving forward. So just be mindful of this energy. It very much has to do with Saturn energy, Saturn being in Aquarius, and we have that strong star energy. So Aquarius comes through very powerfully here in our inner selves, and we have that urge for freedom. We have that urge for expression. We have that urge for what we deeply desire. And so that comes through very powerfully for us and for the way that we need to move forward. So just be mindful of this. On the 14th of January to the 4th of February, we have Mercury retrograde. We have ourselves in Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury is in Aquarius, which is, again, a big deal for us as air sign energy, as having strong Aquarius energy here in our inner self. And it is a positive energy place for Mercury. We need to be able to express ourselves through words, through language, through ideas, through concepts, through whatever we are thinking, and whatever lets us think and move outside of the box. Now, we talk about words and language, which can get confusing, because aren't words language? Well, we're going to be talking about communication. Language is going to be maybe learning another language. It's going to be the art of talking. But words, it's going to be It's going to be the rhythm of things. And that can also fall into language. So they do intertwine, but it's going to be like the language of the book, the language of the song, the language of what we're hearing, how we're communicating it, but also the way that we're interpreting the words. And these things are going to be rather separate to us if we step back and let ourselves really think and connect and understand. The words are going to be important. The language of it, the deeper meaning of it is also going to be important. The way that it is said, the inflection, the way that it is understood. Now, even though Mercury is comfortable in Aquarius, when Mercury is in retrograde, we find that the breakdown of communication is all the more frustrating and all the more overwhelming because we feel like things should be going right. We feel like this is a good place to be. Why is it mucked up? So just be aware of this. Now, Jupiter and Neptune are going to be in Pisces. We have strong Pisces energy here at our root. From the 29th to the 14th of January, Jupiter and Neptune were in Pisces as well. Now, Jupiter and Pisces get along really, really well. They have this caring, nurturing, loving energy, friendly energy that just feeds off each other, and it really brings a balance and it brings a calm that we need. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, right? So Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which is amplified because it's at our root. This brings our dreams really far forward, meaning that we think about what we've dreamt about. We think about what we desire from our lives. It might not be the dreams that we had the night before, but it is going to be what we deeply want, what we deeply need, what we're deeply moving towards in our lives for ourselves. And that's going to be really important because Neptune is also known as the Lord of the Invisible Kingdom. It is the kingdom of the heart, the kingdom of our dreams, the kingdom of our self-expression. And there needs to be a grounding influence, but there also needs to be a sense of, I see and value this within me. And that's going to be something that we have a bit of a problem with during this time. Now, Venus is going to be in Capricorn. Now, this is tricky for us. We're ruled by Venus. So when Venus comes up, it comes up powerfully within us. So this makes it hard for us to express our feelings. Capricorn is all about the rules and the structures. It's ruled by Saturn. So it's like, this is what needs to be done. This is what I'm going to do. And Venus is all about, well, quite frankly, the heart, the emotions, the essence behind it. It's not like, okay, these are the tasks and this is what needs to get done. It's like, okay, well, how are this going to get done? And, are these the right people for the job? And is this feeding the energy, type of thing? And Capricorn can really think like, why are you being so obtuse about it? It just needs to get done. Just do it. And so it can kind of break our hearts just a little bit. So just be mindful of that. Just be mindful of that energy of Capricorn coming in. And it's like, I don't want to hear explanations. I don't want to understand. Just do it. And that becomes very, very trying, very hard on us. Now, again, this makes it hard to express our feelings when Venus is in Capricorn, which really does not help Mercury retrograde because not only do we feel like our words, which is such an integral part of who we are, Libra, but now we feel like our emotions are all jumbled up. Now, this makes us rather secretive and rather withdrawn, and it can lead us to feeling anxious and sad and overwhelmed and really pulling away from the world around us. So again, be mindful of this. Mercury is going to be trine the moon. We have the moon right here at our root, and this is a beautiful place for Mercury to be in. Now, the moon, when Mercury is trine the moon, we have good memories, we have peaceful souls, we have good communication skills, but because things are in retrograde, because Mercury is in retrograde, we feel like we almost get there and then everything falls apart. Then things, turn sideways and we're like, what the heck happened? And this makes us start doubting ourselves. This makes us start doubting our dreams and who it is that we are and what it is that we really want. So again, be very mindful of this. Mercury is going to be conjunct Saturn. Now, we find ourselves distrusting our own abilities and our own imagination. Things become needing to be practical and needing to have a practical approach. And sometimes when it's, in alignment with our dreams, in alignment with what we want, it doesn't need to be practical. Sometimes it just needs to be expressed. Actually, things can be very impractical when we're looking at things. Like I was just... what was it? I was watching about Barbra Streisand because why not? She's Barbra Streisand. And she said that her mother never thought she would be anything, told her she would never be able to be a singer, never be able to achieve. And so here we have a practical approach, like look at who you are, look at where you come from, look at what you should be able to do and stop being a daydreamer, right? But if she stopped being a daydreamer, she would never be the singer that we have. So that's an important thing. Like don't look at things and be so practical that you talk yourself out of your dreams. And then when we're older and we're looking back, we think, I should have at least tried, So just be mindful of this. And if we were practical and did the practical thing, now it's time to let our hearts embrace the silly thing, embrace the thing that other people might have looked at and said, well, that's crazy. You couldn't possibly. And now we get to be able to say, yes, I can. We also find it hard to truly express what we want and what we are thinking. So do be mindful of that. Don't let rules rule us is going to be very important, because ideas and imagination, they need to be expressed. They need to move forward organically. Mercury is going to be squared Uranus. We have strong Uranus energy here with the Aquarius energy. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So this makes us rather opinionated. This makes everybody rather opinionated. So this isn't a good energy coming forward. I laugh because it's not fun, and why not laugh? This brings a tremendous amount of frustration because there's such a strong sense of I'm right and you're wrong. Like, if you'll just do things my way, everything would be okay, which is so interesting because Uranus is all about freedom. Mercury is all about communication, and yet here they tend to muddle each other. And especially in the retrograde, there's just a sense of frustration. Everybody's on attack mode. Nobody feels seen. Nobody feels listened to. This can make us astoundingly anxious of the way that we're moving forward. This can also make us doubt our own abilities and sink into a sense of wanting to hide. So again, just be aware of this. From the 4th of February to the 24th of February, we have the shadow period, the post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde. This is the residual effect. And we have the moon sextile Mercury. So again, moon plays a powerful role for us. This brings peace and intelligence. We just have to step out of our own egos and into what we truly want. And yet again, we're going to try and logic ourselves out of what we truly want. Mercury is sextile Neptune. Now this has an amazing imagination. This means that we have an amazing imagination, yet we can find it hard to bring these ideas to life. We're going to want them to be perfect, especially when we try to, translate them into the waking world, and we're going to be really frustrated when they're not. Give up on perfection and let us move into expression. Now, Mercury is going to be conjunct Pluto. We have the moon right here. Pisces is not ruled by Pluto. So never mind that. This alignment brings chaotic thinking because the subconscious and the conscious, thinking process intertwine. And so we're going to think, oh, well, if I can just explain everything to everybody, if I can just speak slower or more concisely, everybody will understand. And still people are going to be confused. So kind of step away. Like, they don't get it right now. That's going to be okay. The MC is squared Mercury. This makes us intelligent, business savvy, and likable, but it also means that we are relentless in what we're pursuing, and we easily get distracted and we easily get scattered. So just be aware of this, that we can really achieve great things, but we're going to be like, oh, look at that. So just be mindful of that. Mercury is going to be trine the North Lunar Node, which makes us extremely curious about ourselves and about others, and we want to dive deep into everything, but we can't fix everybody's problems, and that's going to be really important. Maybe not even our own. So again, that can be very frustrating, but it's going to be very important for us to gain that understanding. Judgment, we're hearing our angels call us. We're hearing a greater call towards something more, towards something powerful, towards something beautiful. And it's rising us out of darkness, out of doubt, out of fear. And it's bringing us to this place where it's rising us out of the box that we were in. And it can be the box that we put ourselves in. That's what success looks like. This is who I have to be. The box that other people put us in, society put us in. This is how we're supposed to be. We're starting to stand on our own. It can mean that we doubt ourselves at times, when we're saying, okay, I'm breaking this mold, but we can be afraid to break the mold. And that's where the moon comes in. The moon has faces of fear in it. The moon, when the lights are out, and the world is dark, it is a scary place. We're sight hunters. Human beings are sight hunters. And so when there isn't light, we can't hunt. We can't see. We don't use our greatest sense to move forward. But yet our greatest sense is going to be this understanding of being guided, of the many faces of reality and understanding coming our way, the many understandings of who we are and what we want and what we desire. And it's saying I have to embrace a sense of, or a part of confidence within myself, even though I am afraid. There's nothing that's going to say this fear is ever going to leave me. I might always be afraid right before I, take that next step, right before I embrace something that I've always wanted to embrace, right before I, do something extraordinary. There is going to be this realm of fear that is around me and pulling me down and trying to stop me from moving forward the way that I need to. And as we look at the shadows, and we don't see the shadows as the enemies, as the faceless, hordes in the night, but if we see the shadows as, untapped in potential, if we see the shadows not as, the monsters, the evil, again, hordes, the evil, conglomerate of beings coming for us, but maybe even as the monsters that protect us from the chaos that is around us, the monsters that look out at the rest of the world instead of looking in at us, look out at the rest of the world and say, this is the one that I protect. And then it brings us to this new sense of ideas and understanding and clarity. God, source, spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift for us, not for anybody else. And this gift here is when we look inward and it's like, but this is who I am. This is what I want. This is where I'm headed. This is what I desire. And that becomes tremendous. That becomes more than we realized it could ever be. And as we're embracing that, and as we're cutting through doubts and fears and negativity and seeing ourselves, we have the star, and that horn on the unicorn is very much like a sword, right? And so here, when we see our wishes coming forward, we see ourselves more. And this is a time where it's not the wishes that we cross our fingers for, but it's the deep sense of what I want and what I desire and what I need. It's the deep longing that we have within our soul. And divinity is saying, I'm seeing this within you. I'm seeing this within you, and I'm helping you move forward. I'm seeing this within you, and I'm opening up the door. And so this becomes something beautiful. The star is our greatest wish. It is our greatest self. And it is also letting us shine, letting us have that moment of freedom, having that moment of understanding, having that moment of connection. And it brings us to the 9 of coins. And the 9 of coins is like, live in the moment. Don't live for tomorrow. Don't live for the next, whatever. Live in the moment of celebration, of things done well. Let yourself take in the beauty of the now, instead of always being worried about the next and the next and the next. Yes, we have to, plan for our future. That's important. It always will be. But we can't let our future bury us. We can't let our future become the only thing that we focus on, because we'll miss the present moment. We'll miss the beauty of the now. And that would be a real shame. It moves us to the King of Cups. And the King of Cups, I always see the King of Cups, here cloaked in the heart chakra, telling us that we don't rule anybody but ourselves. Surrounded by the chaos of the world, surrounded by the emotions of others, the intensity of others. And he says, I have to rule my heart, my soul, myself. I have to embrace who I am. I can lead by example, but I can only lead by that. Because you cannot make anybody do what you want them to do. Even little children have a stubbornness to them that is extraordinary. It is extraordinary. The will of a 2-year-old, the ability of a kid to throw a tantrum, to hold their breath, until they turn blue. That's just something that you grow out of, hopefully. That is just amazing to watch and frustrating to watch. And the King of Cups knows, I cannot rule you, but I can lead you, but I can show you, but I can embrace so much more than you expected. I can help you. And that's going to be the thing. It's not that I'm pulling you out of darkness. It's that I'm walking in light. And that's expelling so much darkness. That is leading us to so much hope, so much greater understanding, so much of a connection. And the Knight of Wands comes in and it's like, this is my passion. This is what I want for my life. I'm not being held back. And here he's covered and surrounded with the sacral chakra. It is our passion, it is our sensuality, it is our creativity, it is the greater understanding of ourselves. And this is the fire that moves us forward. This is the passion that is a part of us. This is the purpose that guides us. And it brings us, to the sense of, I'm moving with my heart, with my soul, with this connection of who I am to who I need to be. And it brings us here to the 6 of Pentacles, and it says receive, family, give. And it moves like a chakra, not a chakra message, a chant almost of receive, family, give. Have the balance, have the security, have the understanding. But this is also the sense of things need to be balanced. Within our waking world, within our spiritual world, within our work world and our family world, things have to be balanced. The give and the take. What is it called? It's called reciprocal altruism, where when we do a good deed, it's like societally understood or humanitarily understood. I believe it's more humanitarily understood that then we will do a reciprocal deed for that person. It's even seen in animals, in primates. If one does something for another, they usually give back the gift or, reciprocate. There we go. In a equally as generous way. And that's what we need. And when that reciprocal, appreciation or understanding is not there, okay, then that's when we feel like everything has fallen apart. I have given and you have not received, or you have not accepted, or you have not, you have not given back. And that's what we need in this time. It's not to say, okay, well, if I give you this, you have to give me that. But it's having that flow of energy, that flow of balance. And that's what we're going to really need to embrace within our lives, within our home lives, within our work lives. It can be harder in our work lives, but in the sense of, I need that reciprocal understanding. I need that sense of being seen, of being understood, of being guided forward. And that brings us to the Seven of Wands, because here it says challenges and courage. It takes courage to face challenges, absolutely, but it also takes courage not to be always the aggressor in our world. And it's not saying that we are aggressive. What it is saying is that we are so easily taught in our world that you have to respond, you have to react, you have to it's a dog eat a dog world, and you have to go after them before they go after you. And this is saying, why always fight? Because it just drains us. It just drains us and weakens us. And in the public arena, we do not want to be drained or weakened. We want to be strong. We want to stand in courage to the challenges that come our way, but not be in constant fight mode, because that will it will destroy us. It will destroy us without us ever getting to the place that we want to be. And it moves us to the Eight of Wands. And here it says good news, travel, good news, travel. It's like, this is good news, and it travels far. This is us moving forward. This is ready or not, here it comes. And it's being shut off. It's being able to fly true like that arrow, being able to fly to what we need, to what we want, being able to embrace a profound and intense change that really moves us towards so much more than we expected. The Eight of Wands is saying we cannot stay still. We have to move forward, and we're going to feel that within us. I have to move towards this change. And yet Mercury retrograde brings things mucking up with travel, things mucking up with moving towards what we desire. And that's going to be something that's frustrating for us. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. It's the Princess of Swords. It's being mindful of being immature with certain things. It's being mindful of our own immaturity coming out. It's a rude thing to say, but it is something that Spirit is telling us to be mindful of here. It's also being mindful of people who have underdeveloped ideas, trying to rule the situation, trying to push us forward in one way or another. So do be mindful of that. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and it's self-mastery. This is the solar plexus chakra. It's listening to our gut. It's mastering who it is that we are. It's seeing who it is that we are, and moving forward with power and intention and purpose and power. It brings us to our subconscious rooted self, and it's the Chariot. It's the understanding that the subconscious and the conscious are leading us forward. It's the understanding that the heart is so unbelievably powerful, and yet we usually poo-poo it. We usually say, oh no, emotionally, like, the heart doesn't matter as much as the mind, or I'm just being irrational about these feelings that I'm having. It's like, no, listen to your heart, listen to yourself, balance and see. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and that is the Knight of Cups. We're defending our emotions. We're looking at the tremendous energy that is around us, the tremendous power that is around us, and we're not being brought under by it, but we're rising above, and we're starting to see where it is that we need to be, where it is that we want to be, how it is that we emotionally need to move forward for us, for our own sanity, for our own joy, for our own being. It brings us to our subconscious, emotional self. And this is the Emperor. The Emperor is Aries energy. And this is fire and determination. This is also our sister sign. So Aries is our sister sign, Libra. And Aries, like sisters, they can tick us off like nobody else. And they can be the most loving, beautiful energy ever. So just be mindful at the heart where there's this fire, there's this passion, there's this determination, there's this push. And we're going to want to resist it and be like, why the heck are you being so pushy? Leave me alone. I can get there at my own pace. And yet it's going to push us in the direction that we need to see. So just be mindful of that. It's also sacred masculine energy. It's very powerful masculine energy coming forward. It can be, a father figure. It can be a husband. It can be, a person that we're connecting with. And they can push all the right buttons. Like, they can push all the buttons that make us angry and elevate our sense of defense, being attacked and having to defend ourselves. And then looking at it, they might be saying all the things that are going to make us see things in such a different light and see ourselves as so much more worthy, having so much more worth than we originally thought. So just be mindful of that there. Our subconscious public arena message is the Empress. I love that. We have the Emperor and the Empress coming in subconsciously. This is the most beautiful pairing, right? So this is the King and Queen of the tarot deck. And here it says luxury, beauty, harmony, abundance, grace, fertility, love, nurture, beauty, art. It is the essence of us coming forward. It is the essence of creativity and femininity and beauty. It is saying, I have to give birth to this, to the world, and the seed has been planted in our hearts. And now it is time for us to say, this is what I desire for my life, for myself. This is the power and the intention and the integrity and the fire that I have. And this is what I'm embracing in my waking world. And it's going to be extraordinary. It's going to be uncomfortable at times. It's going to be overwhelming, most definitely. But there's an extraordinary grace and beauty and power that is coming forward from us to the whole rest of the world that is going to take our breath away. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this Mercury retrograde. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra, and may you have a blessed Mercury retrograde.